headquartered in Pfizer in Mumbai. Okay, so before we start the session and I give you the agenda, students, if you want to stay connected with Education USA, please sign up to get Education USA updates. There is a QR code right in front of you. You can take a screenshot, you can take a picture, and sign up so that we can send you our event of calendars, and you do not miss such important sessions. You can follow us on all the social media platforms, including YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Here are a few housekeeping guidelines. Actually, 1 second. 1 second. Okay, so to avoid any distractions, your camera and audios are muted by us. If you want to post questions in the chat box, please make sure they are relevant to the session. We advise you to use headphones for enhanced audio quality, and check out the resources posted in the comment box. We will post the resources, and it will be good if you, while you are joining us, do write about which part of the country are you joining us. It will be good to know your destination, not your actual destination, but then the city of where you stay. I'll quickly tell you the agenda for the next 30 to 40 minutes. We will start by exploring where it all begins, the key ideas, the inspirations, and the breakthrough moments in AI. Next, we move from concept to reality. We look ahead, the emerging trends and challenges, and we will also have a rapid fire responses. And finally, we will open the floor for your questions and interactions. Now, when we are at the rapid fire round, our panelists, whom I'm going to introduce in the next slide, you too have a chance to answer the questions that will be open to the panelists. Let me now quickly introduce you to our speakers. Joining us today, we have with us Deepakshi Bhardwaj from Beloit College. She's a Beloit College alumna, and she's currently pursuing her Masters of Public Policy at the Indian Institute of Technology in Delhi. And soon she will be an associate at the Center of Responsible Technologies. Her interest lies at the intersection of AI policy, geopolitics, and digital public infrastructure areas that are obviously shaping up the global futures. We are also joined by Anupam Jain, who leads the India R&D Center at Sauce Labs. With over 20 years of experience starting in Silicon Valley, he has held leadership roles at organizations like IBM Research and Alcatel-Lucent. I hope I have pronounced it the right, it's a right pronunciation. He founded a tech startup that was later acquired and holds 6 granted patents with the USPTO. Anupam is also a practitioner and trainer of heartfulness meditation, and is based in NCR with his family. Anupam is an alumnus from the University of Southern California. That's so interesting, Anupam and Deepakshi. There will be lots and lots of questions for you today. And welcome once again to this session. Thank you, both of you, for taking out time and joining as panelists. Now, without any further delay, let's begin the first part of the session, which is ideas and breakthroughs, because every big innovation, it starts with a simple idea. And today, AI is accelerating that journey like never before. So the next 30 minutes are going to be very, very interesting. Please have your questions ready and post them in the chat box. We will make sure to address all your questions right at the end of the program. Okay, so the first question goes to you, Anupam. Anupam, you have studied at the University of Southern California, and now you work at the forefront of software innovation. So, looking back, was there a moment during your studies or your early career when an idea or a project made you realize how transformative technologies like AI could become?
Sure, sure. Thanks, Rupali, and thanks for having us here. Yeah, looking back, I think there are a lot of those kinds of moments. Uh, One thing that I can recall is we were doing an advanced AI course under Professor Sven Koenig. He's a popular name in the AI space, our other professor was Milind Tambe, who actually leads a part of Google now for AI. So, just to give you a very small example, we were building a pinball game using reinforcement learning, right? So, reinforcement learning, maybe some of the folks on the call would already know, it is a AI technique to train. It's a machine learning technique to train the model so that the more information you give to it, the more it will learn based on its surroundings, right? So we were building a pinball game. A pinball game, I think many of us know, right? There are these two flaps, and the ball cannot go down, right? It has to be prevented by moving the flaps. But the thing is, when you move the flap, right? So a human can probably judge by looking at the ball, the speed at which is coming, if there's any obstacle, what's the direction of the ball. But a machine will not understand that, right? So first of all, what we tried was just moving the flaps of the pinball game randomly, right? So the randomly you move the flaps. We were surprised that it was having 50% success rate with just random movement, without using any AI
Right,
yet,
right,
right? So, and then we started using reinforcement learning where, if the ball went in, then that means that's a risk. That flap, we did not take an action that had to be taken, right? And if the ball hits the flap and goes up, then that's a reward, right? So based on that, you keep getting you could keep getting information on what actions are leading to higher rewards, and then you prioritize those actions and deprioritize those actions that are leading to the ball going inside, right? And then so we were it was just amazing just writing a very simple Java program on just this reinforcement learning. Maybe it was like, what, 100 lines of code, that was it. And that showed the power of AI, what AI could do just by writing very simple code. Yeah, that was one of the moments that I can recollect.
perfect, perfect. And Dipakshi, you have transitioned from a small, as you mentioned before the session, we used to so all those who are joining in, when I was introducing Dipakshi, she told you that I mean, in her bio, she mentioned about the Beloit College, and Beloit College is a very small liberal arts college in Wisconsin. Um, so, so, Dipakshi, when you transitioned from Beloit College to pursuing public policy at the Indian Institute of Technology in Delhi, what sparked your interest in AI policy? I mean, studying policy is altogether different from what Anupam has been doing. And so, what sparked your interest in AI policy and global technology governance?
Right. So actually, two things happened. I've thought about this quite a lot, and all of this happened while I was in the US.
Mm-hmm.
One was that when I was at college, COVID happened, and we saw in real time the race to build a vaccine, what tech could do, how countries engage with it. So, anybody who's interested in geopolitics would naturally notice the intersection of technology, power asymmetry, governance, standards governance, who gets to decide what happens globally, things like that. So that's where the interest in this specific area got triggered.
Right.
Then we had to work on a research thesis for our senior year. And I decided I'm going to work in tech. And there I started working on cybersecurity and different countries' cyber capabilities. And so that's where then my interest in the developing countries, emerging economies emerged, given that I am from one. So there was a natural inclination to study it more. So I decided to then move back, and right when I was moving back, which was around 2024, um, AI was at its brink of its interface with people. Um, so I think that it really happened for me that way. But yeah, the original interest and inclination was because I was really interested in understanding these layers of power and tech and people. And all of that happened in that small liberal arts college, and a lot of big ideas came to me.
Rupali, you're on mute.
Muted.
Right. Okay, so Anupam, the next question is for you. When people talk about AI breakthroughs, they often think about tools like chatbots and generative AI these days. Now, from your vantage point at Sauce Labs, where do you see AI making the biggest invisible breakthroughs across India and the US? And before you speak, let me tell all the participants who are joining, we will share the LinkedIn profile of Anupam and Deepakshi in the chat box. You can know more about Sauce Labs, what do they do, and the role, and what role do Anupam and Deepakshi they actually have in their respective organizations. Over to you, Anupam.
Yeah. Thanks, Rupali. So I think there are two parts to this question, right? One is what can AI do, right, today, and what is the eventual really path-breaking thing that will happen in the future, right? So anything that is deterministic, right? Anything that has a set pattern, anything that has can be done in a certain way, can be automated, right? If we know how it is done, then it can be automated. The difference comes where, if we have, if there is a review required, where there's an art in place, right? So there's a review required, or where the decision is so important that it cannot be left to a machine, right? For example, operating a nuclear power plant, right? Making the decision, right? Things like those. So anything that is deterministic will come to AI, will be automated by AI. I mean, even before, like, AI is not something new, right? It has been around for decades, right? Maybe the term was coined maybe in the 60s or 70s, I don't know. But machine learning is maybe like 20-30 years old, right? Deep learning is maybe 15 years old. But only now it has been gaining traction, because the new language to talk to AI is not a programming language, right? It is English, or Hindi, for that matter, right? You can talk to LLMs in Hindi. So when you talk in your own mother tongue or in your own language to AI, then the what you can achieve is, sky is the limit. So whatever we were able to do earlier in terms of being able to implement AI for deterministic things, that has accelerated. So I would say anything that is deterministic will go to AI. And all this talk about, that there will be, I mean, there will be no loss of jobs. I mean, in the long term, maybe not, but we all, as students, should be prepared that yes, AI will cut jobs. I mean, the jobs will evolve, but eventually there will be an effect of AI on all of these things, because a lot of it is being automated. So yeah, just to sum it up, it is just everything that is deterministic will be done by AI eventually. Rupali, you're on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think this phase came some 20 to 25 years back when computers were getting introduced
Yeah.
in national banks. I still remember how people were scared that what our jobs won't be there and everything will be done by computers and all. So I think the same fear is there again once back again. But yes, it's time that the students prep up and add more to their profiles, just to make sure that they are aware of it, the new breakthroughs. Dipakshi, the next question is for you. How has your academic and professional journey shaped the way you view AI, not as a technology, but as a geopolitical tool? So we all know how the AI summit in Delhi, which was a great success with so many participants from different countries. Would like to know your view on it.
I could really go on and on about this question, but to
We
put
have time limits, so you need to be
right, I'll be brief.
yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
brief. Um, so I tend to look at it through the lens of infrastructural power to begin with, in the sense that when a technology like AI enters society, it tends to reorganize or reshape or amplify global hierarchies, global powers, how countries behave with each other. So when we say it's a geopolitical tool, we are talking not just about the LLMs or chatbots that we engage with on a daily basis, but we talk about what happens when AI gets embedded in critical infrastructure. So where human in the loop idea becomes very, very important. When we talk about defense, we talk about healthcare, your finance, even, credit, things like that, who benefits, who doesn't. And three things broadly, geopolitically. One, and there could be many more, but one would be your concentration of like capabilities, in a sense. Who starts things, who builds how much compute, all those questions, and then what does it do to things like national security. um, then standard setting is another. There's a race, or there has been one. There's EU, there's China, there's the US, and everybody is in this race to forward their standards, things like privacy protection, data rights, stuff like that. And lastly, I would say it's also about infrastructural dependence. So different countries become dependent on each other, they rely on external systems. So then there comes in a new layer of allyship and adversarial territories. So those need to be navigated a certain way. So these technologies don't literally easily translate into whether something is for us, whether something isn't for us as in a state, and they become a question of strategic alignment. How much of intel do we want to share with each other? How much of things do we want to build with each other? Things like that. So it's a power game to a lot of extent.
Yeah, and I said we can go on and on and on this topic. Great. Thanks, Dipakshi. Anupam, quickly, if you can tell us, after returning to India, how did you turn your ideas into breakthroughs? I mean, we know that many breakthrough innovations, they begin as ideas nurtured within the universities, startups, research centers, labs. So, how did you turn your ideas into breakthroughs? We need to be, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'll just try to
yeah.
summarize it in 1 minute. So, uh, I was very intrigued by the social impact space in general. I wanted to work for the underprivileged, right? When I came back from the US, I live in Gurgaon, and outside the society, used to be beggars, but there used to be big malls, right? So I thought that how can I bridge that gap? And I saw that there are a lot of non-profits and for-profit social enterprises doing a lot of good work in the space, but it's like they're not known, right? Because no one knows who is working in my vicinity, in the particular space, for example, women empowerment, or girl child education. So I thought maybe I can, and the information was all out there, right? If you search on Google, maybe you'll find bits and pieces of information. So I thought I can collate all this information on a platform. So I actually left my well-paid job and started a startup, and just collated all this information, coded for 1 year in a room without any salary, just trying to build this. And then, yeah, it launched. And when we launched it, without much marketing, we just We got around in the first month we got 3,500 users. Later
Okay.
on, in a few years, it became to 600,000, and then it got acquired, and today it is 2 million users.
Wow.
So, yeah, yeah.
Wow. And Dipakshi, with your focus on AI policy, how do you see India and the US differing in their approach to AI innovation? And differing is one thing, and the other is how do you think they are similar?
Mhm. I think innovation systems are interesting in general, and countries have had long-standing, they lean in one way or the other. I think US has been very market first, tech companies lead even research with AI. And that then, there's ideas around self-regulation and all of that. So it's very market driven. And India does a bit of a mixed thing where we have this national mission, and
Right.
state is very much involved in the direction which AI takes. And I think as a developing country, it sort of makes sense as well. You sort of set priorities. Um, and when it comes to both countries, how they're similar, I mean, there's a strong talent pipeline back and forth. Of course, that matters. But also, two countries have a very strong strategic alignment in tech.
Right.
So
I think we lost Dipakshi. Okay. Anupam, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I
I
think the
think
power
we
went out for her
Oh, probably.
because the lights dimmed for her.
I think she can join back again. But
Mm.
anyways, we won't, I think she can continue with her, we can ask her again to
Yeah.
continue with her answer. We'll go to the segment B. And so we just explored where ideas begin and how breakthrough happens. But now the next question, the real question is, what comes next? Um, let's move into our next segment and let's understand how ideas are translated into tangible impacts. Um, and we all are aware that how artificial intelligence is used by industries such as healthcare, finance, education, and so on and so on. It's like the list is unending. So Anupam, many AI innovations begin as prototypes. So what are the key steps that help transform a promising idea into a real world solution according to you?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. First of all, thank you for asking this question. Such an important question. I also can go on and on, but we'll stick to 1 or 2 minutes. I think the most important thing is failing fast, right? Uh, we have to iterate fast. And today in Gen AI age, it is very cheap to build a solution. To convert your idea into a solution is less than a month's job. Actually, less than a month's job. But you have to launch it, test it with your users, learn something, iterate it, keep on iterating. I think that's the foolproof way of actually building solutions that people will actually use. Otherwise we build a solution that is searching for a problem, right? We have built a solution but it's searching for a problem to solve. But converting it to something real world also requires some non-tech elements, right? Of course, policy is very important that Dipakshi is working on. So I think those elements do come into play when we actually are deploying into more lot of people at scale, right? Ethical aspects and things like those. Yeah.
Perfect. Dipakshi, I think you are back. Do you want to complete your answer for the last question?
yeah, I was just saying that, both countries have a very strong strategic
Right,
alignment geopolitically when it comes
right,
to tech. So that ways you would see them align and behave similarly in sort of the direction. And India then becomes we call it the use case capital for most tech. So then AI solutions, the ingenuity, all of that comes into play here. Yeah.
right. Okay, so Dipakshi, we moved on to segment B, which is turning ideas into the real life solutions. And the question for you is, what role do institutions, the think tanks like Center for Responsible Technologies, which you are going to join, and the academia play in shaping responsible AI innovation?
Mhm. Um, so this question is actually, it's close to my heart because
I'm
not just
sure.
me, a lot of people, we dabble with this very philosophical primary question around tech for the sake of tech or tech for people. And I think it speaks to that when think tanks, academia come into the picture, this industry, academia sort of nexus. Um, and you bring in people from different fields
Right.
uh, with tech. What it does is that it re aligns priorities in a way that can be more beneficial to society. And I think that's so important. And like Anupam mentioned before, humans need to be there when deterministic, model when things aren't deterministic, we need human beings to make those calls. So all of these things, and again, policies, these are the people that do that. So I think it's that's where the major role is.
Yeah. Dipakshi, I know this question I'm asking on behalf of students. Just in case students are interested in doing some internships, small internships at these think tanks related to policy and AI innovations, shaping responsible AI innovations, um, can they, is there a way to connect with you, or are there other think tanks? You can mention this in the chat box a little later because this is a very important part. And with so many students taking this as their major, it will be a good way to do small internships in these think tanks. Okay. So let's look ahead and see where AI is headed and the opportunities it presents. I think my colleague Srishti is there, and Srishti will now, over to you, Srishti, for segment 3 now.
Well, thank you, Rupali, and thank you, Anupam and Deepakshi, for those wonderful, insightful answers. So, we all, whether it's the boomers, the millennials, or the Gen Zs, we are all totally dependent on AI now. We are turning into these promptaholics or digital puppets. But, it is very, very critical to also understand what is the future and what are the concerns and challenges of AI. So, Anupam, my question to you is, what are some of the ethical concerns that you see in terms of AI? What do you think? What
Yeah,
will be the
yeah.
challenges?
Yeah, I think ethical concerns are definitely much more pronounced now than they have ever been. And Debakshi would agree, because now it is in the hands of a common man, right? Anyone can just do a lot of harm if they want to, right? So it's just and the idea is and there are a lot of different organizations and countries, building large scale models. Now all of these would have immense capability. Like for example, Anthropic 2 days back came up with a model. I don't remember its name. Maybe some folks on the call would know, but it can penetrate into any browser or any operating system. Mythos, yes, thanks, Shrikant. Mythos. So it can penetrate into any browser or any operating system today. Just imagine if we give that to a common man. I mean, you can get into the systems of any corporate today, right? So Anthropic is not releasing that model, right? It has got together a lot of people across the globe, and it is trying to see that at least let's fix those vulnerabilities. And then, so I think that is a very responsible decision by Anthropic, right? And so all of these ethics related issues will come up, but the people in power really need to take these kinds of responsible decisions to make sure that things don't go out of hand.
Well, thank you, Anupam. Deepakshi, so like Anupam was mentioning, whether it is about taking responsible decisions or tackling this new wave of innovation in AI, do you think there are any collaboration opportunities that might come up between India and the US? What's your take on that?
Oh, absolutely. I totally bat for co-production of governance in tech when it comes to these two giants in their own right. And with AI, we would, like things to be interoperable, ideas around how data should be governed. So that opens up a very big area of collaboration between the two countries. And apart from that, doing research with epistemic diversity. So the kind of diversity that India brings to tech research, especially when we talk about AI, there is an LLMs, languages, the diversity in culture and how your models get trained on those. So I think that is a big area of collaboration between the two countries. And like I said before, use case capital. Um, we are a place where things can be deployed at scale. Um, and we can learn a lot very quickly because of such a diverse nature. So I think those three related to what I do, I see those as the areas of collaboration when it comes to tech.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I'm sure in the future there'll be lots and lots of collaborations between India and the US. And our AI summit that just happened is an example of that. They were, and so yeah, let's be hopeful. And with that, we would quickly switch gears and move on to the so-called fun section, or the rapid fire questions, wherein I'm going to shoot some questions at you really fast, and I would expect a very quick, short response. And I would also request my audience to kind of post their answers as well in the chat box. So that would be an interesting thing to see what they think about these questions that will follow. So yeah, so shall we begin? Are you ready? Yep. Okay, so I'll ask one question, and then first Anupam can answer, and then quickly Deepakshi can go next. So first question is, predict one AI innovation in the future that will completely change our daily lives.
I think assistants, just having like a bot assistant next to you, just like a human is sitting next to me. Bot will be sitting next to me and helping me with everything. I can just talk to it. It can answer. It can do stuff. I think that is one thing that will be transformative.
Great. Deepakshi?
I was going to say AI agents as well, autonomous systems, and I'm more interested in how do we build ID systems for them and accountability systems for them to work with human beings and with each other. So that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Which AI assistant or chatbot do you use daily, Anupam?
Cloud Code.
Right.
And
Yeah,
Deepakshi?
I was reading about it today morning only, and how it is really taking over other generative AIs. Yeah.
Yeah, I recently ended my loyalty with ChatGPT and I've moved to Claude officially. So I've been using that for a while.
Right.
Okay. Give one word for AI evolution, Anupam.
Magic.
Okay. Deepakshi?
Infrastructure. I think it has to move to better energy infrastructure, better stuff. So it has to evolve in that direction.
Okay.
So
Anupam,
we are getting very good responses
okay.
from our audience also.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are interesting ones. Yes, Shrishti, you can go ahead.
If you were starting a company today, which sector would you pick? Healthcare, finance, education, or something else? Anupam?
Healthcare. I think there's a lot of work to be done there.
Okay. Deepakshi?
Climate,
Interesting. Okay.
climate tech, AI, something like that.
Okay. One skill that one should learn today to stay relevant in the AI-driven world. Anupam?
Context engineering. That is not too much of a thing today, but it will be.
Okay. Deepakshi?
I was also going to say this judgment, epistemic judgment that, machines can't quite bring, human beings can. Do invest in that.
Okay. And the last one is my favorite. If you could have dinner with any tech innovator, past or present, who would it be, Anupam?
Oh, interesting. Deepakshi, I'll let you go first while
Okay,
I think.
Deepakshi, go on.
I am ready because I really want to do this. I want to meet Feifei Li from Stanford. She's working on human and tech interface and talks about ethics of tech a lot, and she's phenomenal. Definitely follow her work if you're interested in things like that.
I think I will meet Elon Musk.
Yeah, I was about to say that. How can you miss that?
Because I am a meditation trainer, and I think
Right.
we should do a session together.
Right.
Okay. Well, with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire round. I must say that it wasn't rapid, but there was definitely fire with some of the answers to it. So thank you, both of you. And now we are ready to take questions from the audience. And just to sum it up, would you like to say anything, Anupam? Just the last few words that you would like to conclude
Uh,
by saying.
I think someone asked a question about is software engineering going away?
Yeah, we
And
would take questions in the end. We're coming to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And no, I just wanted to say a few words about AI and software engineering in general. That software engineering is will evolve, right? Coding was never engineering, so software engineering itself will evolve over time. So the jobs are reducing now, and as Rupali mentioned, it is like the early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Where people who were working on a typewriter, right? They would probably work on a computer, but they lost their jobs. There was a gap, and then they got back their jobs in a different setup. So that will happen. That will happen for sure. But yeah, this will take time. Yeah.
Yeah. And what tip do you give, Anupam, if I ask you, what is one tip that you really want the students, those ones who have joined in today, what should they be doing to have a strong CV?
Yeah, so I would say skills are no longer important, right? Skills, I mean, skills have been like, so when we hire, right, what we look for is smarts. Smarts is number one. Second is attitude. Third is skills, right? Because the skills gap is very fast. It's being closed by Gen AI. But if we hire a smart engineer, they don't know the programming language, they don't know the web framework. If they're smart, they will figure it out. So I would say build your problem solving, your analytical abilities more than going after skills.
Yeah, that's a very important point. Dipakshi, do you have
Pakshi, go
an
on.
I I would just say that, I'll say what my professor told me. He said that as machines start doing more and more intelligent work, our bar for what humans can do goes up. So
Yeah.
with these AI, models and all the things, all the wonderful things that it can do, I think now it's also a great equalizer in many ways, right? It has brought a lot of people. It has leveled the playing field in many ways. So I would say definitely work on creatively using this technology for good. And what that good looks like is something that only human beings can think of. So invest time in that.
right? Very true.
So now we have some questions in the chat, and so I'll just read out the questions to you, and then either of you can answer it first. Do you think software engineering will go obsolete with the influence of AI, or will this field change the course of curriculum to become AI proof? If the student is interested in this field, which roadmap the student should follow?
Yeah, I think I just answered that question in the chat itself. So yeah.
Uh, Organizations seem to be facing tension between short-term ROI expectations from AI initiatives and the longer-term value creation that might be measurable immediately. From your experience, how should leaders have this trade-off without risking either premature abandonment or overinvestment?
Deepakshi, can I take it? Or do you want to? Yeah, this is a very interesting question. Very, very interesting question. We are seeing that in multiple organizations, including ours, right? And that short-term ROI temptation will be there because we are not designed for long-term, really breakthrough technology achievements. That is possible now, right? I mean, if something can be done in 6 months, and we are now able to do that in a week, I mean, organizations will embrace that and will try to go after that. Now, in terms of long-term value creation, yes, organizations can build software agents, and one person can be managing agents instead of people, and that's why we will need more managers, and we will probably not have mid engineers, but we will have junior engineers, because junior engineers now don't need skills. If they're smart, they just need to come on board, and they will cost less. So mid-level engineer may not be around, but these two folks, like the junior and the senior, and the management will be around. So, but for that eventuality to happen, it is difficult for organizations to wrap their head around that what will happen after 6 months, right? They cannot. It's very difficult for anyone, not even any of the AI leaders, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Sundar Pichai, no, none of them can actually tell you what will happen after 6 months. They can speculate, but they will not be able to tell, right? So in terms of long term value creation, we can speculate and it's difficult to wrap your head around it. That's why it will be slow. But yes, smart leaders, strong leaders, visionary leaders will be able to see and will be able to pivot and work towards that instead of just working on short term gains. But yeah, short term gains is a reality. It will happen because AI, you can do a lot with AI today.
Yeah, interesting. In
Okay.
fact, the question itself was very interesting.
How do you evaluate the smarts or the problem-solving skills? What can we do?
Okay, so I think that's directed to me because I
Yeah.
said that you have to develop that. Smarts is something that comes with doing a lot of different things and doing things deeply. Smarts, of course, it's different than skills, where you learn a programming language and things like those. But if you are solving a problem, solve a lot of different problems. Try to get that intuition of when you see a problem, how to solve it. What kind of pattern is that? So smarts comes with hard work and going deep into any specific area. Yeah.
Okay. The next question is also for you, Anupam. It says, Mr. Jain, you had mentioned that as AI develops, jobs will evolve in finance, healthcare, and other sectors. What would that evolution look like on a day-to-day basis for a job holder?
Like I mentioned, right, a person can be handling many AI agents instead of people. That is one. Anything that is too deterministic, that is too, like where the bar is low, as Deepakshi said, right? If it is a very menial kind of work, grunt work, then AI will just do it, and then you will manage AI to do it instead of you doing it yourself. That's one example. I mean, there are many.
Okay. If someone is starting to learn about AI, code, and model training, what must be the percentage of focus on each one so that one can leverage AI as well as its analytical thinking to create startup or companies?
AI code and model training. So Himanshu is
What
asking.
must be the percentage of focus on each AI, code, and model training?
Interesting. Yeah. I wish I could say 42% on one, 33% on one, but it's very difficult to say that, Himanshu. I would maybe focus more on model training than code, right? Because that's what eventually folks would be doing in the long term. But model training, not in terms of classical machine learning. If you're a machine learning student, in classical machine learning, you just have like a random forest algorithm or like a neural network that fast forward that you're working on. But in terms of actual model training, you try to use Gen AI and see if you can train models faster with that, because classical machine learning is becoming much more accelerated with using Gen AI. Yeah.
Now, someone has requested for the LinkedIn profile, so we would be sharing it on the chat. You can connect with me and Rupali as well. You would be sharing the email address in the chat as well. Another question is, even if we try to build softwares with AI, we come to a point that we don't know how to structure them and also make them in a scalable way. What would you recommend if someone had to improve on this?
Okay, so the question is about structure and scale. I think some of the Bakshi's
Building software, yeah.
yeah, building software. I think there's two angles to this, right? When you're going at scale, then there's a ethics and policy angle that Deepakshi might be able to cover, and there's also a tech angle, right? When like how to really scale. And what I said earlier was that if you build something, then you have to iterate it fast, and iteration is much cheaper now than it was maybe 3 years ago. So just build it fast, iterate, and see what are the issues, right? What people need, right? Building an app for 1,000 users versus 100,000 users is very different. Building an app for 100,000 users and 1 million users is also different, right? So I would say fail fast, iterate fast, and then you would get to know about the issues that you're facing. Of course, with AI coming into the way, and there will be a lot of it's easy to penetrate into software. So I think that's also comes with scale, where you have to make sure that it is at least your prototype or MVP is not penetrable, so you can scale later.
Okay. In large-scale industries like energy, infrastructure, manufacturing, AI adopting seems to be struggling at the intersection of data availability, legacy systems, and capital allocation discipline. What could separate pilot success from scale deployment in such an environment? Is the first part, yeah. I have heard and read about several pilot scales to wider deployment failures at firms via HBR cases and otherwise.
Interesting.
And this seems very technical to me.
Yeah. I wonder if these folks are typing these questions. Are they just
Or
pulling
they're
it from
using the
Jain?
generative
Yeah,
AI.
yeah. Let me
Well,
let me read the question again. Okay, Shrikant admits that's good. In large-scale industries like energy, infrastructure, manufacturing, AI adopting seems to be struggling at the intersection of data availability, legacy systems, and capital allocation discipline. What could separate pilot success from scale deployment in such environment? I think Jenny, I would be able to give you much better answer, Shrikant. But
Right.
what I can say is that see, pilot success is, of course, as you understand, is very different from scaled deployments. But AI will help you there as well, right? How to go to scale, and when you are at scale, how to test your system, how to make it or traffic proof. Like if you have, like, let's say today you have 100 users, tomorrow you have 1 million users, how to auto scale and all of that. I think AI is the one which will help you that. With AI, you can achieve scale faster, but AI will solve the problem that it has created, and will help you scale as well.
I'll just add something here. I also feel like when we dabble with this question around scalability, I think one missing piece might also be systems level thinking, in terms of thinking ahead in terms of your data pipelines, your frameworks, evaluation, right from the pilot stage. So you look at this tech not just as technology, but as socio-technical systems. At the end of the day, it's interfacing with society in a certain way. So if you early on engage with all of that, I think it's important to do so.
I think these were the questions in the chat, but Deepakshi, I have one for you. So, with the advent of AI, let's say, STEM fields would be more in the focus, so to say. But what do you think would be the impact on the liberal arts? Or how would that change? Or where do you see, these two coming together, STEM and liberal arts together when it comes to AI?
I think I'm a prime example. I think my job did not exist
Yes.
a few years ago. So I think liberal arts have a very important role to play as AI systems scale or any technology scales. I think chatter around quantum is already, we were just catching our breath from AI, and then quantum computing is right there. So all these systems will keep coming in, and what liberal arts training does to you is you learn to question things a lot. You tend to question everything and everybody, and those are the kind of people we want in the ecosystem as these the big tech is scaling everywhere. So it's just coming closer and closer together by the day, I think.
Thank you for that. Somebody has asked, how do you see your role changing in the next 12 to 18 months due to generative AI?
Okay. I don't see my role changing much in the next 12 to 18 months. I'll probably keep pushing our engineers to use more and more of AI, agentic AI. I think that's what I see. Yeah.
I'll
Well,
probably
yeah.
have an AI agent managing my emails for me better, I guess.
Yeah. Rupali, do you have any other questions from them?
Not really. I'm just checking if we are there.
Okay, in the chat box, yes, please.
Yeah.
Anupam, how has AI helped Sauce Labs to kind of grow to another level?
AI has actually changed us completely.
Okay.
We were a testing platform, right? So
Right.
Right.
you could write a script. So let's say you build an app, right? And you want to test it. You want to test it. Okay, how will that app look on a mobile phone? How will that app look on iOS? How will that app look on Android? Right? So we have device farms where you can
Mm-hmm.
write scripts, and there's the popular framework called Selenium, Appium. You could write Selenium scripts, Appium scripts, and then test, right? But now all of that is gone because now you can just show your app to AI and you just ask, okay, can you test it? It will write the script, it will test your app, and it will also create a PR. I think some folks in the call would know what is a PR. It is a pull request which is created by engineer to merge their code into production. So it will create a PR so that when the developer comes back in the morning, that bug is not even, the app is not even tested, but it is
Mm-hmm.
also, the bug is fixed, and they just have to
Oh,
review and click on merge.
oh,
So
interesting.
yeah.
Okay. There's another question in the chat says, please share what are the kind of jobs people do in AI or machine learning or data science, research or consultation or strategy?
Yeah, all the three, consultation and strategy, I would say maybe strategy is a subset of consultation. You can have strategy consultation or implementation consultation. Research, of course, there's a lot of work to be done in research. I mean, the models are so expensive. I mean, how do you evaluate token usage, right? Before every prompt that you send to AI, all the previous prompts are also sent. It appears that it is just stateful, but it is stateless. But in terms of but apart from that, the sweet spot for AI today is the application layer. I mean, so many people have built LLMs, right? So many organizations have built or building, but there is so many applications that are waiting to be built using these. So the application is very enticing, and it will continue to be, I think, for the next 10 years. I think that is where we could see some magic.
Okay. I mean, just off the cuff, and it could be like a fun thing to probably think of. What is that one field you think which would be the last one to get impacted when we think of AI, or would be difficult to kind of merge with? Or if you put those two together, there could be like a fun thing that would come up with. For instance, let's say the culinary arts. Would AI kind of make its way into it, or how would that look like? Or you know, just off the cuff, if you could think of something like that.
Yeah. So I think I'm a meditation trainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is a very people thingy, right? Even if you have a bot giving you a training, it will not. And we work with energies, right? So you can feel the energy that a bot cannot articulate. So
Interesting. Yeah.
I think that is one. Maybe counseling is another thing. I mean, a bot can really sound nice, but it will not give a human effect, right? It will not touch your shoulder. Even if it touches your shoulder, it will not feel the same. So I think
Interesting.
that counseling aspect is also one thing that comes to mind. I don't know if
Mm.
Deepakshi has
And
any
the
idea.
Bakshi,
I
anything fun?
think politics and policy making. Those
Yeah.
are jobs that aren't going anywhere. I mean, AI, if you put a prompt in any of these language models, they come up with n number of policy solutions for any given problem. But what they miss is, if you were to talk about, I don't know, flood issues in Bihar or arid areas in Chhattisgarh, it lacks all that context, and I'm not sure how data can capture that, how data can capture
Very
layers of
interesting.
human
Yes.
So
That's
after five
really
years, after 5 years, maybe Deepakshi will have her job and I will be out of my job.
that would really be interesting. And thank you for these interesting answers. And I think with that, we don't have any more questions left in the chat, right, Rupali?
Yeah, I think we have answered most of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then there's this one last question that we'll take in, which is, I see in every industry the Gen AI is booming and is used rather than traditional ML. Which one is more important?
Yeah, I answered this cursorily earlier. Shivam, it's not one or the other, right? You can accelerate traditional ML using Gen AI by training models using traditional ML. You can also give it a problem and ask which traditional ML algorithm will be good to solve this problem and all of that. So Gen AI is just an accelerator.
Okay, thank you, Anupam. And somebody has asked questions about internships. So whosoever that is can drop us an email at india@educationusa.org and we would reach out, we would respond to you directly. So we'll take that there. And with that, it's a wrap. And I would really extend my sincere thanks to Anupam and Deepakshi for joining us as our esteemed panelist and for your wonderful insights and for taking our time today. And thank you, audience, for your enthusiastic participation in this session. Really, from Education USA, we really appreciate your time and presence. You can also join us for our upcoming sessions. One is on April 21st, which is the State Spotlight on California. So the interested participants can register here and join this session. The next one is the masterclass in supply chain management. So the students can also register. You can also visit our website and check our events, and these links will be available there to register. So thank you once again, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again for coming in today and for speaking to the audience and for your wonderful, wonderful insights.
Thanks, Rishti. Thanks, Rupali. Yeah, thank you for having us.